Good afternoon. My name is Brian Grzymkowski. I'm one of the assistant directors of graduate admissions here at William Paterson University. I want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to join us for our graduate new student online orientation today. It's our hope that being able to get this information online is a fast and easy way for you to get all the information that you need, take a quick break from your schedule, and then jump right back into it. We know there are family obligations, work obligations. I know some of you may not be able to stay for the entire duration of our webinar today. So I do want to make sure you know we are recording this webinar in its entirety, and we are going to be providing you with a link. You're going to get an email from our office by the end of the business day tomorrow directly to the presentation on our YouTube channel. So I mentioned that so you know if you need to step away partway through, there is going to be the opportunity to refer back to all this information at your convenience, whether it's on the couch over the weekend, whatever works best for your schedule. We are going to make sure that we put this information in your hands because, like I said, I know everyone has different obligations and you may not be able to stay for the full presentation, and some weren't able to join us today. So no worries whatsoever. You are going to be able to refer back to this. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right into it. First and foremost, congratulations on your acceptance. I know many of you will be starting taking graduate coursework here at William Paterson University for the first time for our spring semester, which starts, classes begin on January 16th. Certainly, I know now that we're past the new year, it's probably feeling very soon and is now that we're under 2 weeks away. And we want to make sure that we answer all of the questions that you might have now rather than later as it gets closer to the start of classes. So my colleague, Christina Aiello, is here. She's going to be taking care of any questions that you might have in our chat box feature that's there on the GoToWebinar screen. Certainly, it's our hope that we'll address all of your issues, but I know there are oftentimes very specific case-by-case instances that pop up, and hopefully she'll be able to answer questions for you or refer you to any department that might be able to field any issues you might have. So we'll jump right into it now. Here is an aerial view of our campus, more because we realize that some of you may have never stepped foot on campus up to this point. You may be from out of state, you might not be from the surrounding area, you may not be that familiar with Wayne. So here is just a quick aerial view of our campus, and we will take a look at two of the buildings that might be of particular interest to students as you go through and you acclimate to the campus. This is our main campus, which is located on 300 Pompton Road. In addition, we have our Valley Road campus, which is just a little bit further down the road off of Hamburg Turnpike. That's for those students that would be taking education and business classes specifically are located on our Valley Road campus, and the majority of our other courses are located here on our main campus, just so you can get a quick visual of the aerial view of the campus. We're going to go through a couple things today. WP Connect, which I'll talk about a little bit further in a bit, your WPU email account, obtaining a student ID card as well as a parking decal, which I know are both usually of particular interest to students. Blackboard, our emergency notification system, and ICE in case of emergency system here on campus. Forms and graduate exams that might be pertinent for you, and then tuition payment options in some of our frequently asked questions section. Are a couple of things we're going to work our way through as we go through our presentation. So as I mentioned, these are two buildings in particular that I think most, if not all, of our graduate students will pass through for one reason or another during the time that they're pursuing graduate studies. Our University Commons is our student center. It has our ID center. If you're getting an ID, you'll have to stop there at some point between now and the start of classes. It's located in room 100 there in the University Commons when you walk through the main entrance. There are also several food and drink options there, cafes, etc. There are campus bookstore and marketplaces there, and then we also have our information desk. If you are lost and you need to find a building, or if you just need some general information, that's a good point of reference for you as well. And then we also have Morrison Hall, which is the office that the graduate admissions is located there, undergraduate admissions is located there, financial aid, student enrollment services, as well as our registrar's office. So a lot of the departments that you might have questions for, need to submit documents for, etc., are located in Morrison Hall. So I wanted to just put a quick picture up there so you could get a visual of what you would be looking for when you came to campus if you needed either of these locations. And as I mentioned, both are pretty common to stop by at some point during the course of your graduate studies here, regardless of what program you might be pursuing. WP Connect is sort of the end-all be-all for our students here, as well as our faculty who access it quite frequently as well. It is our online student portal for all students that need to do a number of different things. Everything from accessing your email, paying bills if you need to view your transcript, and a number of other different reasons you might pop in. It provides you the portal to all of those areas. So it's important to get acclimated and familiar with the resource, and to start to log in and just familiarize yourself now so you're not struggling with anything after you've started classes and you're trying to do this for the first time. So what you use to log in is your user ID. It's usually the last name and first initial of your last name. So in my case, I have a very long last name. It's Grzymkowski, and then my name is Brian, so B is the initial there for me. But if you have a much more common name, if your last name is Smith, you may find that others share that last name, so you may have a few digits in there after, if that is indeed the case. And then your password, at least to start, is usually your student ID number, which begins with 855. You use that information to log in, and then once you do, you have access to a whole wealth of information that I referenced before. And you can see to access it, you just have to enter wpconnect.wpunj.edu. There's also a clickable link through the William Paterson University homepage, so it is very easy to find if you need to do so. And like I said, I would log in and just kind of navigate a little bit, poke around, see the different resources that are there for you, and familiarize yourself for them now before classes start, so you've got that under your belt when that time comes. Also of great importance through WP Connect is accessing your email. And I can't stress enough, the university will use your WPUNJ email account as the primary point of reference, especially for some of our most important departments and some of the most important information that will be conveyed to you. So I can't stress enough. Not everyone is going to set it up so that their WPUNJ email address pushes to their smartphone or tablet, but it is important to get in the habit of checking your email, I would say at the very least on a weekly basis, so you don't miss anything important. If you registered for a course and are currently on a wait list, the email notification that a spot has become available will go to your WPUNJ email account. Your bill will go to your WPUNJ email account, as well as some of the other important services here. So please familiarize yourself with logging in and familiarize yourself with accessing that information regularly so you don't miss out on something. There are always ways to set it up so that your WPUNJ email pushes to your primary personal email account or pushes to your phone. And if you have any problems with that, we do have a help desk. Our IT department can help you get set up with that so that you don't miss any important notifications. But you can see, same thing, you can go through WPUNJ.edu. You can log into WP Connect in the way that I referenced before. And your email address, again, same thing, is usually your last name followed by the first initial of your first name. And then you would log in with your 855 number as your password. You click login, and then you click the email tab, and you are in, and you can see the emails that have come through from professors, different departments on campus, etc. Obtaining a student ID card. ID cards are available from our Hospitality Office ID Center, which I referenced before. It's located in the University Commons in room 100. Their hours of operation are Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 4:30, and then in some instances, especially around the start of the semester, they'll offer some additional evening hours, because obviously we understand that 8:30 to 4:30 doesn't necessarily accommodate everyone's professional schedule, and we want to make sure that you're able to get an ID. That information is available on our website. They're issued to all students who are currently enrolled in classes. You can see there's no charge for the first card, but if you lose your card, there is a $10 replacement fee, and if you are a forgetful or not careful person and you lose 3 ID cards, it's $25 after that point. So make sure you put it in a wallet, a purse, somewhere secure on the back of your smartphone in one of those little holders to make sure that you don't have to spend money and that you've got your card for free. And then you need 2 forms of identification, and you need to be currently enrolled in classes in order to get your ID. Again, since classes start on the 16th, I would recommend taking care of this before then if you are able to, because it could be used for everything from the library and a number of other things here on campus, so we want to make sure that you have that ID card. Obtaining a parking decal. If you are going to be parking on campus, which most of you are, some might take mass transportation. We do have a bus station here on campus. Some of you might be dropped off by a family member for your classes. Some of you might be fortunate enough to live so close that you could walk or bike over to campus, but for the majority of you, you will likely be parking here on campus and will need a parking decal. There is a form that you must fill out online. Again, that's on WP Connect. Please note there is no fee for a parking permit, but I do recommend, given the timing and where we are now in regards to the start of the semester, if you have some time later today, I would go on to wpunj.edu, go to WP Connect, log in. If you click on the self-service tab, which is one of the tabs that will be available there, you can select miscellaneous, and you'll see that the parking permit request form is there. Fill that out, and they will then mail the parking pass to you. So because it involves the post, it can take a couple days. So the sooner you do this, the better. Ensure it's one less thing that you have to worry about as you near the start of classes on the 16th. If you are a graduate assistant, the process is very similar, except you're going to go through the employee applications tab there, and you'll see there's employee services. So just a slightly different path to get there through links, but the process is the same, and you're able to park in the employee lot there. Blackboard is an online portal that many of our classes take advantage of. Blackboard is available to you as well through WP Connect. You'll see that there's a direct link posted there. The login and the password are the same as WP Connect and the student email login and password that you use. And again, it's good to get familiarized with it to start to use it now so that it's not very foreign to you when it starts getting incorporated into the class. And you can see there's a guide there as well that you can look into more information about it, sort of an orientation, if you will, for using Blackboard. But it is incorporated very heavily into some of our academic classes here and programs, and a lot of important information for your classes is there. So start to familiarize yourself with it now. Emergency notifications. I would stress to everyone, if you have some time, log in and sign yourself up for our emergency notification system now. The reason I mention that is because if there is a snow closure, if there is a bear sighting on campus, this is not the time of year for it. They're all hibernating, but in the spring when it gets a little bit warmer, if there is a bear alert on campus, anything along those lines, if they're doing paving and a part of the campus or one of the entrances will not be available for a window of time, all of that information comes through a number of different streams. But usually the fastest way to get an emergency notification is through your phone. Most everyone has their smartphone on them regularly, look at it frequently throughout the day. You will also get an email automatically, so there are a number of different ways that we'll communicate, and certainly we post it on our social media accounts as well. But if there is an issue, if they're closing campus early because it's been snowing throughout the day and they're canceling evening courses, we do not want you to get in that car and start driving towards campus. If you could get that notification quickly, and it can save you that trip. If a bear is spotted on campus, we want you to know about that as soon as possible so you can avoid the area where the bear sighting took place. There are a number of different ways and reasons that this notification system is used, but you will not get it unless you go through the process of opting in, and there's more information about that in a moment. But you can see there are other ways that we notify people. You will get the text. It's up on the website, our main number there. Radio stations in the area also will post information, but certainly the fastest way is through your phone, followed by the university email. In case of emergency safety features, you can see the direct number for our university police there. You can do a number of different things to be proactive and to make sure if, God forbid, there was an emergency, that our campus police and other first responders are able to provide you with the care that you need. On the iPhone in your health app, you can have your medical ID and emergency contacts available so that emergency responders can see that quickly. If you have an Android phone, you'll see there's an app that you can download for ICE so that even if your phone is locked, they're able to get the information that they need. There are emergency phones located throughout campus, as well as the blue light boxes that you might be familiar with on campuses. There are safety cameras installed all over campus. 911 calls that are made from a university phone will immediately dispatch to our university police here. They are state police. We have our own force here on campus. And then you'll see that 911 calls that are placed from a cell phone will go to the local public safety access point and will then be relayed to university police here. And finally, there are fire safety requirements that are all taken care of here. We have regular fire drills, there are heat and smoke monitors. We have zero tolerance on campus for fire and safety violations. Forms for current graduate students. It is not uncommon for a student to have to change their concentration within their master's for one reason or another. And we do want you to know that there is a proper form to go through and do so. I believe that is available up on WP Connect as well, but you can see some information about the form there. And that's you're changing from one program to another. And you see there's reasons you can give a written statement as to why you are doing so. In addition, again, things happen. There are many things that you can't account for in life, and that includes serious illnesses, a disability, a death in the family. There are a number of reasons why someone might have to take a leave of absence and put a pause on your academic progress, and we understand that. If that ends up happening to you for one reason or another, we would have you go on to WP Connect under self-service. You'll see under the registration section, there is a leave of absence request form. You would need to fill out that form if you are going to take a pause from your courses here at William Paterson. And that is to make sure that that door is still open for you without necessarily submitting another application again after and going through that process. And finally, we know sometimes there are people in a given semester who need to withdraw completely down to 0 credits, and that leave of absence form will assist you with doing so, or you can withdraw from the university. The leave of absence form leaves that door open for you to continue your studies. The withdrawal from the university is much more finite and will keep you from withdrawing until a certain length of time has passed. So it's really a matter of determining why it is you're deciding to withdraw. Is it because of a reason outside of your control that you don't want, or is it because you've decided I am not going to pursue my higher education here any further, in which case the withdrawal request form would be more appropriate for you. There's paperwork available to you for graduate admissions if you are looking to transfer credits into your program, which in many cases is up to 6 credits. And you'll see that there's also an application for matriculation. If you are a non-degree student and you are taking courses as a graduate non-degree student, you can take up to 9 graduate credits or 30 undergraduate credits. After you reach that point, you will need to apply and matriculate into one of our graduate programs or get special permission to continue to take courses beyond the 9 graduate credit cap. And that's for unique cases. In most instances, students will be matriculating into one of our programs in order to complete one of our degree programs or certificate programs here at William Paterson. Graduate Comprehensive Exam. This is just to break down some information about the application process for graduation here, and you can see the timelines. It's January graduation is typically September 1st. May graduation is typically December 1st, and then August graduation is typically June 1st. You can see information for applying for a teaching certificate for those of you that are pursuing teaching programs. You can see the timeline there. I won't read them all off for you. And then application for comprehensive requirement. You can see information there and the dates as well. And again, all of this information is available online. In many instances, especially for the comprehensive requirement, it's good to consult with the academic department for deadline dates relative to the comprehensive requirement component for your particular program. But you can see October 1st for the fall exam and March 1st for the spring exam. Graduate tuition. You can see that the fall 2018 and spring 2019 tuition costs are broken down there. They do vary depending on which program you might be pursuing. Some, particularly PhD programs, are a little bit higher in terms of the cost, but you can see for many of our programs, the cost in-state and out-of-state per credit. You can see the Student Government Association fee and then the total cost per credit. For in-state is $714 and for out-of-state is $1,111. Payment options. You have very likely been receiving communications from our Office of Student Enrollment Services regarding billing. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that graduate tuition payments are due by January 15th, which is the day before classes start on the 16th. But I would double check with Student Enrollment Services and certainly review any information they may have sent you about bills being due carefully to ensure that you're getting your payment in by the time that you need to before classes start. You can see that cash payments as well as check and money order payments can be made here at Morrison Hall. You could stop right by the Office of Student Enrollment Services and make your payment there. You can also mail it in, and there are also internet check payment, e-check payments available. Many of our students will make their payments online at this point. Credit cards are accepted, and then you can see, if you haven't looked into it, there's also a tuition installment plan. It's called our TIP plan. That's where they break down the cost of tuition over the course of a semester into smaller payments. And if that plan would be helpful for you, that is an option as well. So certainly keep that in mind. Frequently asked questions. How long do I have to finish my graduate program? And the graduate program, regardless of which program you are pursuing, needs to be completed within 6 years from the time that you matriculate into that program. That is a semester in which you are accepted and start taking your courses. Can I transfer credits from another institution? Yes, I referenced that before. You can transfer up to a maximum of 6 graduate credits, provided they meet the conditions specified in our graduate catalog, which is available online. How many credits denote full-time status? It is 9 graduate credits for a student to be considered full-time for a graduate assistant, 8 to 9 credits for our bio students in the past, and then grad assistantships must be full-time students in order to continue to qualify for your graduate assistantship. Is there financial assistance available for grad students? Yes, you would have to complete the FAFSA, and typically it is loans that are available, and that information is available through our financial aid office, and you can also ask those questions to our Office of Student Enrollment Services. And these opportunities are not available for grad non-students or grad non-degree students. It is for those that are matriculated into one of our programs. Where can I find course offerings and schedules? That is available on our website. I recommend going through WP Connect. You can click on the Students tab, and then you can select class schedules. There are a number of different ways to drill down and do a search. You can do it by academic program. You can do it by time of day of the week. You can filter graduate versus undergraduate offerings. There are a number of different search parameters to help you drill down. However it is you need to find the information you're looking for. How do I register for my courses? Again, you would go through WP Connect. You can see the step-by-step is broken down there, but you would do the search for your class. If there are no student restrictions or other holds that might prevent you from registering for that course, you would be able to select it. On the left-hand side, there would be a checkbox, and you would then click under Register, and that would add it to your list of registered courses. You would be prompted with your PIN to sign up for the class, and then you would have to click on a financial agreement that you are going to pay for the course and that you acknowledge that you want to register for that course. And again, if you need to drop down to 0 credits at any point, you would either need to take a leave of absence or withdraw from the university. And if there was a special reason like, oops, I registered for the wrong course, you would require the assistance of the registrar's office to drop down to 0 credits and then register again for the correct courses. So I always recommend look carefully first. If you're unsure of a course, if it's appropriate for you, I would recommend reaching out to your program director. If you are matriculated in one of our programs here, they could give you guidance on which courses are appropriate, which courses you have the appropriate permissions to register for, and in some instances you may have to get permission from the program director, and they would have to give you the authorization to then be able to register for the courses. So there are a number of different things that might pop up that might prevent you from registering. There's usually a very viable reason on why that has happened. You may have a hold from a previous payment that's due, from what's called a bursar hold. You may need an immunization form in. You may have a graduate hold on your account because you've reached the 9 credit limit for grad students who are taking courses non-degree. But always reach out to our office or the Office of Student Enrollment Services, and we will help you address, give you some context on why that hold might exist or why that restriction might exist, what permissions might be needed, and help you direct you to the appropriate point of contact to ensure that you're able to register for those classes. Where can I purchase my textbook? You can see the link there. It's through the bookstore. There's more information online. You could go in person to the bookstore. You could go through the website, and there's more information there through that link. Contact information. This is our phone number here for the grad admissions office, as well as our fax number. Our email is there at graduate@wpunj.edu. Our website information is there as well. I can't stress enough, sometimes there's the preference to come face-to-face. Our office is open 8:30 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. We're located right in Morrison Hall. We are more than happy to answer your questions, and if it's not something that we can take care of ourselves, we'll make sure that we point you in the right direction, either the right program director, the right academic department, or the right department here on campus in Morrison Hall. I know it's a busy time. I know many people are still recovering from the whirlwind that is the holidays and getting ready for the start of classes. So certainly we want to do everything we can to help walk you through the process, get you comfortable, get everything needed that you need taken care of before classes start, so you can just focus on your studies and working towards the degree that you're pursuing. So that is it for the formal part of our presentation. If you do have any questions, as I mentioned before, you can type them in the chat box. Both myself and my colleague Christina Aiello are going to stick around. We will be happy to answer any questions that you might have. It's certainly our hope that we answer most, if not all, the questions you might have, that this information was helpful for you. And then I can't stress enough, if you joined us late, I want to make sure you're aware we did record this presentation in its entirety. We are going to make it available on our YouTube channel by the end of the business day tomorrow. We'll be sending out an email to everyone who was invited to take part in this webinar with the direct link to this presentation. So if you want to go back, if you can't do some of this stuff now and you want to do it over the weekend when you have a bit more time, you'd have the opportunity to review this again, hopefully from the comfort of your couch at whatever time works best for you. So keep that in mind. Look out for that email. It will be coming in the near future. And again, I can't thank all of you enough for taking time out of your schedule. I know how busy everyone is. I know it's not always easy to duck away for 45 minutes or an hour and take part in a webinar. So I do thank you most sincerely for doing so. And otherwise, I hope you enjoy the last just under 2 weeks before we start the semester and start classes for the spring. We're looking forward to welcoming you on campus, and thank you again for taking part in our webinar. Take care.